Welcome to Red V TV, supported by Chapel House Cars for the 2024 season. As we continue our build-up to the new campaign, and this time, Kevin, it's a man who's been spoken about enough, so we're going to end it right there.
Yeah, that'll do.
You're not getting off that easy. Kevin, it's 20 days to go, and it can only mean one thing.
It's another one of the Widnesians. It's number 20. It's gorgeous George Delaney. And George is sponsored by ASW Solicitors.
ASW Solicitors pride themselves on being a specialist firm assisting clients with a range of corporate and personal disputes, as well as advising on various areas of tax-based litigation. Kevin, when you need to know how to look after them millions you've got, they are the people to see. Do you know what? I am pretty sure we made that same sort of joke last year when we did Gorgeous George.
Listen, you got to his season last year. You can't describe it as much different than gorgeous. What a year he had!
Isn't it mad when you think how good he's been coming in at prop and forcing his way into the side, and he still hasn't grown?
Yeah, we were talking a couple of days ago about Sam Royal putting some bulk on. Listen, we might be surprised when we see George, but yeah, I still think I still think there's more to come from him. That said, I don't want to put too much pressure on him either. It could well be that he doesn't quite hit the heights of last year because people are expecting it. And that isn't to do with George, that's fans' expectations, expecting him to still be doing a little bit more than he did. I still think he's going to have absolutely no thoughts for his own preservation. I still think he's going to run in hard, he's going to tackle hard, he's going to want to try and get a try as well. I'm sure he'll be after that in Saints colours. But the sky's the limit for George as a prop coming in at such a young age and doing what he did. I mean, how was he not picked in the shortlist for Young Player of the Year? I must have imagined last year.
He's still only 19. He made 20 appearances in 2023. Probably more than we would have liked. But with his scale of development and the injuries to Alex Walmsley and Ignatius Parsi, needs must. But sometimes that's what you need. Just get given your head and take the bull by the horns. And is that as many what's it called sayings as I can fit in one sentence?
Possibly.
But with Parsi not due back at least until probably mid-season, is it fair to say we expect George to essentially be one of the four props who carry the load early in the year?
It wouldn't surprise me. I think that load might be rotated a little bit. As you say, needs must last year. We lost quite a few forwards. We were even missing the likes of Jake Wingfield, who we'll talk about in a couple of days, who can play in the middle as well. We ended up having to put Morgan Knowles in at prop at one point. So the fact that George was available and at that level as a prop forward was absolutely unreal, absolutely outstanding. I'd almost hope this year, and I'm sure he doesn't want to hear this, I hope he plays less games because I'd like to see him used a little more sparingly so he can get kind of used to his body. He can get used to the rigors of being full-time, everything like that. I know he did it last year, but I don't want to burn him out. I want him to be that player that kind of builds and builds and builds back again. If he does play another 20 times this year, it'll be completely on merit, though.
I genuinely think that it's just going to happen automatically.
Yeah.
You've got, if you look at what we've got prop wise, you've got Alex Walmsley, Matty Lees, you've got George, you've got Iggy Parsi. Jake Wingfield might do a bit of propping.
Yeah,
Where else
yeah. I
have you
think
got? Where are your props coming from after that?
did you mention Sione?
Sione will go into the middle a little bit. Yeah, is he going to prop though, or is he going to play more as a second row?
Well, there's $1 million question and one that we'll answer in a couple of days' time, I
It's
suppose.
fair to say we're looking a bit light at the moment until Iggy Parsi comes back.
Yeah, we are, and that's again when he comes back. I think June's been spoken about for Iggy coming back. That's not going to be a straight in and you're doing massive stints. That's going to be a slowly build up. As I say, I'm just worried about burnout. I don't want to see it in George, and I'm just hoping we can manage his minutes and manage his appearances. People want to see him, yeah. I get that. I completely get that. I just don't want him to, as a young prop, get a couple of years down the line and him be kind of like absolutely shattered from playing.
Is this where, obviously, you say we have to manage it as a club? Early in the year, for example, the likes of against London and the Castlefords of this world, are those the games where you potentially look at using, rather than using George as a mobile prop, you use the likes of Morgan Knowles, maybe even like Kurt Siren and Sione Matausia, use them as that extra forward just to lighten his minutes?
Possibly, I would be against necessarily putting Curtis in the front row, but it's where you see Sione kind of makes his mark. I think it might be that they say, well, actually, we've got that much of an idea what we're going to do, that George is going to play against the likes of London because it's his shirt to lose. But then eventually just give him the odd week off, your 18th man this week, your 19th man this week, whatever, and it just take his minutes down. This is not me saying I don't want to see George Delaney playing rugby for Saints, because I really, really do. I just want him protected as much as we can.
Yeah. I think this is where we have to say that we're going to miss Louis.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's the first time we've mentioned him on these when we get into the forwards, and we'll probably mention him a lot more, but we will miss him. He was part of that unit that you just think of the four props, like was the most experienced, and of the four props coming on and keeping us going. He was one who seemingly was having a bit of an Indian summer as well, wasn't he, with his career? And he started looking like, could he do another year? Could he? He may be able to.
He probably could have.
He probably could have, but I think he probably went out at the right time. And this is what we talk about as a club when we want to see players coming through. Yeah, we brought Louis in from London. Now George has come through our system and he's got his chance. We don't have to say what would be a good year, what would be a bad year for George. If George carries on being George, he'll be absolutely sound.
No, we haven't mentioned Kevin. If we ever want to give George a week off against the lesser teams, I don't like saying that, but the games you'd expected to win, that's where you look to your Mackenzie Buckleys and your Noah Stevens to come and do 20 minutes.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad shout. And another thing with regards to George,
Red V's Noah Stevens.
Red V's Noah Stevens. George has shown the benefits of dual reg for us as a club and for Swinton, because their fans absolutely loved him. Their fans didn't want him to not be going back, but needs must. And he was just doing too well. And that, for any of the lads who are numbers, well, even call it 21, 22, I don't know if Connie will go out on dual reg, 24 and down, if you end up dual reg at Swinton and you put the performances in, Saints will notice. That's what he did at Swinton. That's the kind of aim. That's the time mark that you've got to hit, the George Delaney mark.
It's a very high bar that's been set. He's a man that can go all the way in the game. Yeah. Let's hope he continues his rise. Right, Kev? That's us done and dusted. What are you wearing? You look like you're on the beach in that photo. I just realised. Oh, I'm sorry, not the photo. On your cardboard cutout.
Well, yeah, I've put a Saints vest on.
It made the red polo shirt behind it look like you just had a nice tan.
And I've gone lobster red.
I pull my one out because I can see it from here, but it'd be like a before and after the Slim Fast plan.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. I mean, the head's the same size.
I
But,
could put mine in front of me and my head would be like out the sides of it.
Yeah, I should just sit like that. Shouldn't mind you, I've not got me polo shirt. I should put a polo shirt on it.
I tell you what, Kev, do you know what I was looking at today? 7 years ago when we started this, the first ever Red VTV. Oh my word, we look so much younger. You've aged me.
I'm not sure that's the right way around.
Right, that's us done and dusted. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And Kev and me will be back tomorrow. Catch you soon. Is that your handle, the cutouts?
It's a competition, guess.
No prizes.